Hey there. Oh, sorry. No, it's the new opening, right? It's the new year. We got the new intro, all right? Haha. Hey there, it's Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, well, that's on you, pal, or gal, or any friend who happens to identify themselves in the great spectrum of humanity. I've been going through a lot of comic books lately. Good stuff, older stuff, and things that might have flown under your radar. This certainly almost did, especially at the time of its publication. It was coming up to Flashpoint and Convergence, and the New 52 was just around the corner. This was written in 2011, so these are one of the last Batman stories of the previous of the pre-Flashpoint universe, which would be what the Infinite Crisis restored multiverse. If I have to nail some terminology, let's get geeky. Yes, let's geek together. That's right, let's geek together. This is a very well written piece of a Batman story, and it shows that Batman works best when it's very basic, and there's a lot of just good story here, and it's gripping crime drama, and let me tell you, it's not Bruce Wayne, it's Dick Grayson. Following Final Crisis, Batman was presumed dead, killed by Darkseid. And there was a very big convoluted mess on the way back, which also kind of mirrored Steve Rogers thematically in a way too. Post-Civil War, Steve Rogers was killed, and over in Marvel, Captain America was shot and killed, but he was basically Flash Gordon, in a way. It wasn't. Flash was publicly executed by Ming. Little did they know that. Princess Aura had rigged it that he only appeared dead. He was mostly dead, like in Princess Bride. And so Batman was mostly dead in the DC universe. Therefore, like other sidekicks, Dick Grayson stepped up and took the mantle of Batman. And it was a really great, interesting spin, and it was best in Batman and Robin, a comic book written by Grant Morrison and art mostly by Frank Quitely, and inherited to Chris Burnham, who did a good job with that Frank Quitely kind of style. Batman and Robin was Dick Grayson Batman and a Damian Wayne Robin. So you had a bright, cheery, chipper Batman and a really emo, sulking, brooding Robin. And it was a really fun spin on Batman, and it told really decent Batman stories, in my humble opinion. I'm gonna sip some hot coffee. Oh, keep grinding. That's right, keep grinding. Wonderful cuppa. I love hot coffee, and I love good comic books, and I love Batman. You can see that's the Gotham skyline up there. That is, a Lego of New York and Chicago. So it's meant to evoke the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight Gotham. And the bat signal is, it's a little tiny bat signal with an actual lamp in there. But on the wall is an old belt buckle. And I thought that was cute. And I'll get into it as well too in another video about my bat cave. I had a Lego bat cave, 66. It was great, and so this was the view from the Palisades from Stately Wayne Manor, from the library, where the Shakespeare head and the red phone dwelt. Yeah. And so that's my. I used to really, really, really like Batman. I still do. It just, yeah, I'm off of the new age of superhero comics, and but this flew under my radar in 2011 when it was published. It came out shortly before the New 52, and reset everything, and made it 5 years ago, and the Justice League was just meeting for the first time. Yeah, and so before that, you had Dick Grayson filling in for Bruce Wayne as Batman, and Bruce eventually came back and became like the Batman Prime and the Batman of the world, and Dick remained the Batman of Gotham, while so Batman could go patrol the world, and Bruce can go take care of international matters under the title of Batman Incorporated by Grant Morrison, which was pretty fun. I liked it. I like Grant Morrison's Batman. I like his Superman. He's really good. I gotta say that since 2018, the closest I ever got to wanting to go back to buying a monthly from from DC, was Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp's Green Lantern. I feel like I can always go back and get it used on trade paperback too. So there's always that. But yeah, this is The Black Mirror, and it's a story by Scott Snyder. Scott Snyder is about to hit pay dirt. He's about to get, he's probably already been given the Batman title at issue number 1 with the stellar artist Greg Capullo. These two were a battery on Batman for 5 years. For the first, they were probably the highlight of the New 52, and I had every issue in trade paperback or floppy. And so yeah, this was right before Snyder broke big. He was a new face in town, and art by Jock. Jock is he's got let's look at Jock's style real quick. Jock's got a very energetic kind of style, very distinct. I'm not going to get into criticism of style. I mean, it's yeah, that's for someone else, someone more educated. But it's entertaining. And then there's also, it's balanced with art by Francesco Francavilla. And I love Francavilla's art. You see, this is Dick teaming up with Tim Drake. See, Tim Drake's identity and his Robin has been being messed around with ever since, 1 year later, since they got him out of his real traditional 90s, outfit, which replaced the boy wonder / teen wonder of Pixie Boots. This is the Red Robin outfit that came down to us through Kingdom Come, Mark Waid and Alex Ross. Originally, Red Robin was Dick Grayson in the future world of Kingdom Come. They even got Dick out of retirement. You know what I mean? That was a joke between, I think, Clark and Bruce or something. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But Francesco Francavilla is a really, really good artist. And there is just this, it's very moody, and I gotta say, it's probably one of the last Oracle stories. Oracle being Barbara Gordon. Barbara Gordon was a survivor of a very close encounter with the Joker. The Joker shot her and left her for dead and crippled her. And so Batgirl was now in a wheelchair. And being in a wheelchair didn't stop Barbara Gordon. So Barbara Gordon became Oracle. And Oracle used the internet and to be the backbone of the Justice League, the intel for like mostly every team. And she had her own team, the Birds of Prey, Black Canary, Huntress, just starts that. And those were like really, really good comic books. But and it introduces a really, really disturbing bad guy and a really good balance to Dick Grayson Batman. Who would his Joker be? This is a question. Leave your comment. Leave your answer in the comment section. But okay, we got, like him or hate him, who would Dick Grayson's Joker be? And my answer is James Gordon Jr. James Gordon Jr. This was meant to have syzygy, corporate, property syzygy with the Nolan movies. In the Nolan movies, James Gordon Jr. was injured in a fall, and so they were meant to presume that James Gordon Jr. Had somewhat, grown up to be a sociopath because of that neurological injury. I don't know, let's see. Look at these panels. Look at that storytelling. That's Barbara in her wheelchair being confronted by her little brother, who's literally a psychopath. He kills without remorse, and he doesn't wear a mask. He has no secret identity. He doesn't have a bit. He is just what we would consider evil, and he's a second generation as well, such as Dick Grayson's Batman, and both of them being sons to the hero, sons of Gordon and sons of Bruce Wayne in a way. And it's just a really, really interesting first story. And the first story, that was the second part of this, was Batman versus Jim Gordon Jr. And it was really, psychological and creepy and macabre and brutal and noir and detective style, yet meets horror. I mean, it's grotesque. And so this is art by Jock, and this is Batman finding out about Dick Grayson Batman, is finding out about a some kind of underground mob ring. Yeah, and there's an orca, and they find the dead stripper and the orca. I mean, it's just it's very Frank Sinatra used to do these Tony Rome private detective movies in the 60s, and they were they were interesting, but it's there was just what's the story about the showgirl with the cement boots, and let's solve her murder. And so that's what Dick does, is he's going to solve the murder of this poor girl that ended up in the gullet of a killer whale. What the heck happened to this poor girl that she was fed to a killer whale? Well, and he comes across mystery and intrigue and his detective skills, and it shows Dick as a Batman, as detective. And I quite enjoyed Dick's run as Batman. I enjoyed Dick's run as Batman more than I enjoyed Azrael. I wasn't the biggest fan of Nightfall or Asbats. I love Asbat's design. I love the suit, and I love because even then I predicted that's where it was going. That Batman will be back and he'll have to fight back for it was very predictable, but still it was entertaining. I think my favorite part was when Asbats kicks Robin out of the cave and refuses to have Robin, and Robin knows something's up. That's the whole reason why he became Robin, because Batman needed a Robin. Without Robin, Batman's kind of reckless. And Robin keeps Batman in check, in a way, and he's right, because Tim Drake is a wicked smart dude, wicked smart. But so it's the Black Mirror, and it's a really, really good two sets of Batman stories, and perhaps one of the creepiest bad guys ever in the Batman pantheon, because he's not just Dick Grayson's nemesis, he's also Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon's, and he's also Barbara's nemesis. And it shows, and this is quite, like I said, this is quite possibly the last Oracle story, because coming in the New 52, Batgirl is back. It's Barbara Gordon. She's in a new costume. They get switched over to the Burnside costume very quickly. But New 52, Batgirl, she had got a procedure done. She was healed. She can walk again, and now she's 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 beyond she's a survivor, and she's recovering, and she's back in the superhero game. She's no longer Oracle. She's Batgirl again. And yeah, and there were some interesting Batgirl stories in there. And there was the Batgirl of Burnside too, which was, was cute. I think it was meant to be cute. I think it was meant to, it was definitely appealing to a different audience, or people who probably wouldn't buy a Batgirl story. And it is meant to be cosplay friendly too. I mean, yellow Doc Martens and a leather jacket. It's kind of but it's cute. I mean, it was. I have no problems with it. I get more problems with Batgirl being race swapped than because of my ginger thing. I'll leave that in the box below about that. If because they're using the Batgirl of Burnside batsuit for the upcoming Batgirl movie. It's just the Barbara Gordon, who's of Scotch ancestry and a natural well, it doesn't matter if she's a natural ginger or not. She's IP and she's made up, and but my non-delusional parasocial relationship to actual redheads has it comes from my Irish culture, and knowing who real redheads are, as I mean, just to replace like my people with someone else is kind of weird when there's just that's its own conversation, and I've already covered that in other places. So I will leave the video for redhead erasure. It's well intended, but is it anti-Irish, and is it anti-Semitic? Tune in to find out. Let me know what you think in those comment sections, and let's have a conversation about comic books. And because if you're tuned in and you're still watching, you love comic books as much as I do. Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. I'm a big lad. I can handle it. Like I said, leave a comment or a question. I'll read them on air next week. So if you look for any comments or questions to be read the following week. It's just the way I shoot these videos, and I use the perch method or the your boy Zach method. I sandbag. Yeah, it's how I'm able to keep daily content going. It's just you gotta shoot a couple in a day, and then schedule their release. It's a good YouTube hack for you young YouTubers out there. So have a great day. Thank you very much. Hopefully one day I will earn your subscription. I'm an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. We get spiritual here. I say let's get spiritual, and we do often. I'm a big comic books fan. I do a 365-day, a 365 days Golden Age of the DC Universe book. And that's pretty cool. And I'm an ordained minister. Oh, I said that. I'm a professional line cook. So I make delicious, nutritious, and beautiful food. And I share these hacks with you, so you can share these foods with your family at your table. And feel blessed to have a wonderful supper with your people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, today has been about the Black Mirror. Oh, and one last thing is I had notes. I had show notes. Yeah, and I said that this title predates the BBC show by a year. And it's not a reference to Black Mirror, the BBC show that took America by storm. That premiered in December 12th of 2011. Detective 871 was released in January, as a January of 2011 date. So that must have mean it was on shelves about November of 2010. So yeah, about a full year before the release of the BBC show. So yes, the Black Mirror is not a reference to the show. And yeah, that was my show notes. And it's the last great Barbara Gordon Oracle story about how her how being trapped in a wheelchair didn't trap her life or her heroism. Oracle was always a model of resilience, and yes, and but welcome back, Barbara Gordon, to being Batgirl. Cheers, namaste, and have a great day, and pick up the Black Mirror. Cheers.